Hi, yeah, let's continue our series on causal analysis using R. And this video is a brief introduction to SEMgraph for the R package, SEMgraph. Okay, so SEM stands for Structural Equation Models, and they are statistical models for complex pathways among observed and latent variables. So SEMs are very popular in like social science, behavioral science, economics, health sciences. Okay. So they are very powerful tools for pathway analysis, and the most popular software for SEMs is the M+. SEMs really they are modeling pathways, which is very desirable when we're looking to potential relationships among variables. So this feature on pathways is very kind of alluring for us to think about whether SEM can be used for causal inference. If you ask that question, can SEMs be used for causal inferences? The answer is yes or no. So then maybe you can use it, but under very strict conditions. So here are some strict conditions. One is the model structure must reflect the true causal relationship. Okay. So that's not easy to do, right? All relationships should be directed and acyclic, meaning no feedback loops. So that rule out dynamic control systems. Okay. Each variable condition on its direct causes must be independent of its other ancestors. So this means you cannot have like different causal pathways. So everything stops right with the immediate ancestor. Okay. Unmeasured, no unmeasured confounder should exist between variables, and that's nearly impossible, right? And also model assumptions must align with domain knowledge and data. Okay. So having said all that, all those things, we know it's nearly impossible to do a perfect causal analysis using structural equation models, but it can be a starting point. We can start looking to potential causal pathways using a structural equation model just as the beginning. Okay. All right. So in this video, I just want to show you how to use SEMgraph. So let's load it in. And then we load in the library iGraph, and we define a graph model. And then we generate the data matrix, column names, the group, that's intervention versus control. And here, this is the ABC variable of the pathways. Okay. And to perform the SEM with group perturbation on all nodes, we can use the SEMrun. So the syntax is SEMrun-G, that's the graph model. Data equal data matrix, group equal group, and fit equal to 1. Okay. Fit equal to 1 models the effect of group exogenous variables. Okay, so we do the fit, and it gives us some outputs here. First, it tells us the NLM IMB, that's the optimization algorithm, ended normally after 6 iterations. Okay, and we get the deviance over degree of freedom to be infinity. That means this model is a saturated model, and no more degree of freedom is available. Okay. The SRMR is the square root mean residuals. We want it to be small to reflect good model fit. So this one is very small, 0.06. So the model is a good fit. And then the bronze combined p-value of node activation and bronze combined p-value of node inhibition. These are for node activation or inhibition by the group perturbations on the model in this model. And since they are large, so looks like the group perturbation is not really impacting the model very much. Okay, so we got very good model fit, but it shows not much perturbation from the group. Okay. And if you want to look into this model fit object, and you can use the struct str function. It's a very complicated object, but we go to the very beginning. It tells us it's a list of 5. Okay, so we can actually try to look into further, like the summary for the fit. You can see it gives us the regression. First it tells us it used the Lavang, the R package for structural visual model, and it ended normally after 6 iteration. The estimator is the maximum likelihood. The optimization method is NL, MI, NB. And number of parameters 9, number of observation 100, and then you get model test under model. Test statistic degree of freedom to 0, meaning perfect fit. No more degree of freedoms, and then you get a regression table, give you the effect. These are the direct effect under the estimate column of the group on this, on these nodes. And you can see all the p-values are large, except you got a ZC regressed on ZA and ZB got 0.05 is marginally significant. And the variance, they are all near 0, meaning there are unexplained variances. Yes, there are a lot of unexplained variances by this model. Okay. And you can also view node-specific fit, group effect estimates, and the p-value using fit at just. Okay. So this is a G estimate. You got this. So here, LHS is the dependent variable, the node, and OP is the operator, means regression here, and RHS is the independent variable. Here, there's the binary group variable indicator. Okay, then you got the estimate for the G estimate and the standard errors, the Z, the p-value, the lower and upper 95% confidence limits. Okay. So again, you can see a group is not really influencing anything on these ABC nodes. All right, I just want to say, there's we can print out the ACE, the average causal estimate, and then we can print it out. So here you can see it tells us frequency distribution. So 1 means the length of these paths is 1. So we don't have long paths. And 3 tells there's 3 paths in this model. And then the print result, you get the path length, sync, op, source estimate, SEZ, p-value, lower up confidence limit. Here we get 0 rows, just means there's nothing, no ACE available to report. Okay, so even though we have a perfectly fit model, we cannot get anything for causal estimates. So I want to say this SEMgraph is a pretty comprehensive package. There's a lot more things you can do with it. But for this introduction, I will stop here. And hopefully in the future, I can make a more example using more sophisticated features of this R package SEMgraph. Thanks for watching, and please like our video and subscribe to our learning channel. Thank you for your support.